People don't whisper when I walk past anymore. They don't need to. They stare. Some of them laugh openly. The younger girls in my class call me Miss. The boys joke, asking if I got lost on my way to greatness. Even some teachers speak in that careful, polite voice adults use when they don't want to embarrass you, but somehow do anyway. I am 16, still in 5th grade, but I am pretty. That part confuses people. They expect me to look awkward or ashamed, like my failure should be written across my face. But it isn't. My skin is clear, my braids fall neatly down my back, and my grandmother says my eyes are too bold for a timid life. When I catch my reflection in store windows, I see a girl who looks like she belongs in high school, maybe even starting college. Instead, every morning, I lower myself into a small wooden desk designed for children who still ask permission to use the restroom. Now, you might be wondering how I ended up getting stuck in the small wooden desk. The thing is, I wasn't always behind. When I was 9, my father lost his job, and everything went downhill for us. By the time I was 10, my mother got sick, and my dad, well, he stopped caring like he used to. Things went south fast, and eventually, he left. I had to take care of my mom more than I ever had before. School fees became whispers at night, counted and recounted under the dim light of our kitchen. I missed a term, then another. By the time my mom recovered and things finally stabilized, my classmates had moved ahead without me. I rejoined, but it never felt right. I was older, taller, quieter. When exams came, my mind was always somewhere else. At home, counting the money in my mother's purse, calculating what we could afford. Eventually, I repeated grade 5. Then I repeated it again. And suddenly, I was 16. The first day I returned this year, I wore lip gloss and tons of makeup. I don't know why. Maybe I wanted to remind myself that I was still allowed to feel beautiful, even if I felt behind. When I walked into class, the room went silent. A small girl in the front row whispered, "She looks like a celebrity." I almost laughed. If only she knew. Being pretty doesn't cancel embarrassment. It just adds confusion to it. Some of the fathers picking up their children stare too long. Some teachers assume I'm trouble before I speak. People think beauty is power, but sometimes it's just another spotlight you didn't ask for. One afternoon, while we were doing group work, a brutally honest 11-year-old boy named Daniel looked at me and said, "Why are you still here if you're so big?" The class went quiet and I turned red. I could have ignored him. I could have snapped. Instead, I said, "Because life doesn't move the same speed for everyone." He frowned like he was solving a math problem. "But you're smart." That surprised me. I didn't feel smart. I felt delayed. But that night, I replayed his words in my head. "You're smart." The next week, our teacher gave a reading comprehension test. I finished first. Not because it was easy, but because I focused. Really focused. For once, I wasn't thinking about who was watching me. I was thinking about the story in front of me. I scored the highest mark in the class. When the teacher announced it, the younger kids clapped like it was normal, like I belonged there. Daniel grinned at me as if he had known all along. Something shifted inside me that day. Maybe I had been measuring myself with the wrong ruler. Maybe I wasn't behind. Maybe my path just had bends in it. Still, there were hard days. Days when girls my age walked past the school gate, laughing loudly, their futures looking straight and smooth. I would touch my braids and wonder what it would feel like to sit in a classroom with people my own age. But then I would remember something my mother once said while brushing my hair. You are not racing anyone. You are building yourself. One afternoon, the principal called me into his office. My heart pounded because being called to the office at 16 in grade 5 usually means trouble. Instead, he told me something unexpected. Because of my test scores and consistent improvement, I would be allowed to sit for a placement exam. If I passed, I could skip ahead 2 grades. I wanted home that day feeling lighter than I had in years. I studied every night, not to prove the bullies wrong, not to prove the whispers wrong, but to prove something to myself, that I was more than the year printed on my report card. The day of the exam, I didn't wear lip gloss. I only applied mascara and little makeup, though I didn't need it. I already knew I was pretty, and for the first time, I also felt capable. When the results came out, my hands trembled as I unfolded the paper. I passed. I was overwhelmed with the fact that I would move forward. Progress, movement, proof that staying still doesn't mean you're stuck forever. On my last day in grade 5, the younger kids hugged me like a big sister leaving home. Daniel said, "See, I told you you were smart." I laughed. Daniel was my godsend.